Hey Scorpios, welcome back to Deku Tarot and welcome to your December 2020 reading. So your new year has begun. We are in Sagittarius season for most of this month now, and as usual we got some pretty intense astrological moments here that we're going to talk a little bit about throughout this reading. Scorpio, so if you haven't, do make sure to subscribe. And if you want to book a reading, guys, all that information is in the description box below. This month, I decided in the Sagittarian energy to do something a little different. I kind of just channeled some of the messages beforehand and listened to a song for you guys. So I kind of just intuitively picked a song that I just felt was the energy of not Sagittarius, of you guys, Scorpio, but for each specific sign. And then I would pull cards and kind of focus in on your energy and really feel what you guys were going through, or what you're feeling really, while the song was playing. And I picked Rejoice by AJJ, and I love that song. I've loved that song for so long, and it always comes to me in moments of true change, enlightenment, and opening that might be very painful. And that's really what I see for you guys this month. There is pain. There is a deep feeling of loss. I literally, like, as soon as I said that, I just, like, brought tears to my eyes. I also realized recently that I have 5 Scorpio. I mean, I knew this before, but for some reason it never really dawned on me. But I have 5 Scorpio placements in my chart, and they're all pretty big, and they're all in the 5th house. So it's not really a cute stellium at all. It's, like, the worst. But regardless, I understand this need to protect our feelings that Scorpios have. This need to protect and really take care of what is deep to us. That it might be why some people see us as secretive, as possessive, as jealous, as finding suspicion in others when there is nothing. But it's because we just want so badly to protect this pure, deep love, this energy inside of us, our own heart, our own passions, from anything that could possibly hurt that, destroy it, change it. But this month we cannot do that. It is here. We will probably be focusing on a loss, on a heartbreak, on how could I let that happen? How did I let them get away when we had so many good things together? And why did it happen? What did I do? There's so much. Sorry, deeply felt pain here for you guys. Just gonna let the cards, I guess, speak for this for a little bit because it's so deep. And I know it will change throughout the month, your perception of this whole situation and how you let it move through you emotionally. But in the first few weeks, there's so much pain, and it would be silly to say that we didn't see it coming, but that it also forced us to let go of that person that we thought was the long game. Maybe the person we were going to settle down with. How did I let that happen? Why did that happen? Is that never going to be now? Oh my God, I don't know why I'm crying. You guys have such sadness in your reading here at the beginning. But there's also, I want you to know that I pulled other cards and there's really wonderful things here. It's just emotionally, this month like hits you a little bit in the beginning, the first few weeks. And I do think that Sagittarius, I mean, really the Sagittarius clip should be more about your money, but with everything else going on this month and Jupiter, the Great Conjunction, all this stuff happening, there's really this expansive moment here in your life. And it might feel like, I don't want that to go. I would rather that not that stay because it's so stable in your life. It's so much a part of how you saw things playing out. But intuitively and emotionally, I think that you knew that something had to give. Oof. But you really are holding out for, wow. Oh my gosh. There is like lamenting. It's like you guys, I don't want to laugh because it's like painful stuff, but I have to say it's really silly if you think that this is the end of this being a possibility, because it's not. Like, this is not the end of any of this being a possibility, because it's there. I don't mean to show this backwards, sorry. But that person that you emotionally connect with in a way that you don't with anybody else, that person that you might think, maybe they'd be a good mother, maybe I'd like to start a family, maybe they'd be a good father, maybe I could raise my children with this person. That's what's really on your mind. And the loss of that, again, that one that got away, will be consuming you for some of this month. And with Venus in your sign, it makes what you say, what you feel, and how you express it very stark, very upfront. And you will notice that you will start to shift, or want to shift at least, in how you relate to others and how you relate and communicate in relationships and how you repair and work on them. Rather than just destroy, how do we build them back up? How do we repair a situation that we want to work out? Interestingly enough, you're going to have to let go of it for now. And I know that maybe that's not what you guys want to hear. I don't think there's ever a water sign that's like, yeah, just let it go for now. Like, y'all don't like to hear that. I know that, but you have to. And I do think that that Sagittarius eclipse will be when you're finally able to drop the burden. See those 10 wands coming down? And the moon right there. Sorry, I'm going to get a sip of water. Actually, I have some moon water from your new moon and the Taurus full moon. But you have to move on and move forward. Take what you have learned, yes, but realize that it is okay if you have changed, if what you want has changed, and how you perceive and look at certain aspects of relationships in life and long term. Things that used to scare you might be what you want now, and that's okay. You might want to connect with people more. You might want now to move forward in a more honest and open way in your relationships, to talk more about what you need, about, you know, what the relationship needs. You know, just communicate a little bit more freely. I feel like for a lot of you, this might have been an issue that you don't really see, but it's here. And that moon card, there's, again, I just feel like this month between the eclipses, don't be surprised if the energy is tense, but don't be surprised also if after that eclipse in Sagittarius on the 14th, that things start moving forward really positively for you. Even if you expect it, with all of this negative stuff, with all of this loss, with all of these goodbyes and endings and moving on, for things to actually be really good. Because if you resist the urge to attack, resist the urge to let your fears take over, to become jealous, become suspicious. So yeah, maybe somebody breaks up with you. It does not mean that they're cheating on you. It does not mean that they have feelings for somebody else. It does not mean any of these things. Or that person that you're just getting to know, you might be suspicious of them for whatever reason, but it's really because you're afraid to let somebody in that's not going to be that one again. You don't want to waste your time, waste your energy, waste your heart on somebody if they're not going to offer you that. It's pretty simple, right? I don't want to get hurt again. I don't want to be put in a situation where I'm just going to have to get left again, or I'm going to have to leave, or I'm going to have to say goodbye to this person, or let them go away and expect them to come back, and then, hey, guess what? They never came back. But let me tell you something. If this situation leaves you, and it is meant for you, and it is meant to come back, it is meant to work out in the future, then I do think that it will. But I do think that you have to move on right now and assess your other opportunities, how your values have changed, and how your needs have changed, okay? Your standards as well within a relationship and what you're willing to accept do need to restructuring. If you haven't already changed them or realize that they need changing, or that maybe they already have started changing by themselves without you noticing, it's time to do so. Because you have weak points where people actually end up using you. Your weak spots are what people use to get in and get something out of you. And you need to make sure that your standards and your values are high enough that you don't mess with people like that anymore. And that when you open up to somebody and you start putting them through, you know, that first round of, are we, like where is this relationship going, that Scorpio does, kind of that test of, are you ready to go to the deeper level? Yeah, they might be, but you're going to have to wait on that and evaluate if it matters that they pass the test or not. And what the test even means for you. Why put somebody through something because you're afraid of opening up, because you're afraid of getting hurt? Everyone's afraid of getting hurt. Does not mean you have to test people. You can, whatever, and even if you do, I don't think they'd notice, but you can come across as harsh, as very critiquing, as very, you know, again, jealous, very possessive, and you're going to need to watch out for that this month, okay? Because the way you come across is not understanding and giving to the other side and the other party, whereas in this case, I feel for a lot of you, the other side isn't negative. The other side isn't trying to hurt you even when this happens. It's not trying to do that to you. What it's trying to do is push you towards freedom, towards your own growth, because this is where we're at. Nobody's getting anything from this situation. Or again, somebody might be getting all of it and the other person none. And you might not have been able to see that until now. You might not have been able to see that maybe, per contrast, you were on this side and accepting and taking and giving, like taking what somebody was giving you, but never going out and seeking more. By never getting yourself to a higher level. Asking for more, doing more, finding ways to equalize this better. There's different, again, how we work in relationships, how we communicate, the give and take, and again, how we relate really in our relationships is what is going to be really worked out this month. And things do change, they do shift, as you can see with the Wheel of Fortune. The time has come for us to really look at the Six of Pentacles reversed and see what, not just what we've been giving to, but what we've been taking from that we haven't been giving equally back to. And that we've just been expecting to come to us, but actually hasn't done any, again, why would it come to us if we're just, sitting here waiting? Yeah, like there's no reason for it, is what I'm trying to say. There's, the way that we're going about this is outdated, it's wrong, and it's time to change, really. And with Sagittarius season being here, great time to do so. Great time to start aiming your arrow towards new and better things, self-improvement, life improvement. You want your relationships to better, they will, but you have to work on you. You have to work again on how you relate to others, on how you act in relationships, on the give and take, and on what you are expecting from others. What are your standards? What are your values? What do you want and what do you need? And what's the difference between those things? I always say that in a lot of my readings, what is the difference between what you want and what you need? One of these things is desire, and the other thing is something that you actually do need. So one thing might make you feel good, but actually isn't good for you, whereas the other thing might be difficult, but is much better for you in the long run and will give you what you want. So, again, the Knight of Swords here reversed and that Nine of Cups. Then we get the Lovers and the Three of Pentacles. Again, be careful how you communicate and be careful how you react to unexpected endings and unexpected moments that, again, put you in this position. Because nobody's trying to put you in this position, but you have to see it from this perspective rather than getting upset and feeling hurt and reacting. You might think, oh, they're just trying to get me to react. They're trying to get something to change in this way. I don't think that's the case here. What this person and what this situation actually offers you is a chance to choose to build your life up, to restructure the foundation on which you build your life and how you build relationships. To look at, again, not even outside of a relationship. I'm not just saying go jump, especially if you're coming out of a relationship, don't go jumping into another one, but evaluate how you build up your relationships and what foundations you're building them upon. And if you're, we have to make sure that things are mature, balanced, responsible in a relationship. And that's really what this is about. It's kind of like checks and balances. How do you build together? How do you co-create? Are you aligned in mind, body, and soul on the same project, going for the same goal, or are you not? And if you're not, then why are you sticking with that person? If they want something else out of life and you want something else out of life and it's not going to work that way, then it's time for you to choose this. It's time for you to choose what makes you happy. It's time for you to put stock, to choose a different path. Sometimes the Lovers is like, oh, we're just all going to fall back in love again. It's all going to be great. No, the Lovers is about choices and about choosing what's best for you and choosing with your soul and your heart. Well, I don't know. In this case, I wouldn't do that. I would choose what's practical and responsible for you, what you need, rather than what, relationship you're trying to, be in and stay in and keep around you, what kind of energy and love that you're trying to keep with you. It's about where you want to go in life. Have you looked at, your life path? Are you living the life that you want? Do you live where you want to live? Are you doing the career that you want to be doing? Do you get to wake up and do what you love every day? And maybe we've been focusing too much on relationships and all that stuff when we needed to be focusing on how to build up our lives on our own. So again, something that seems tragic, something that seems devastating, something that seems to come out of the blue and that you will question and feel offended and hurt by, actually ends up being really amazing for you. And it's exactly what you need to start a new chapter. So don't fight, celebrate, appreciate, and thank this person and situation for what they have brought to your life. Even if it was difficult, even if it was painful, even if it was a codependent, toxic relationship. You have both of these cycle cards here in this reading. Your cycle is done. A new chapter is here. It's time for you to awaken to what you want to do and do it. And stop waiting and stop finding excuses to put it off or not go for this or not do this, or maybe I didn't even really want to do that anyways. It's okay that it's not mine. You know what? I won't go for that, for that job, or I won't go and try to go back to school. I won't go and try to live in this other place because it would take me away from this relationship, from these people, from this family, from everything that I have. Nobody's actually stopping you, is what I get here. It's your attachments. And once you realize and you go through your scorpionic little purge that you tend to do, where you can release that, yeah, the emotions are going to be intense. It's going to be difficult. I'm not saying you aren't going to care for this person, this situation, this, career path that you're leaving, but this feels more like a relationship to me. This person and situation will still be here. But you've got to take a step away from it right now. And I don't want to say it's over forever or anything like that, but you've got to step away. And you've got to start, not fight and not look at it as somebody is taking from me. And yeah, maybe this whole situation is taking away from you, but it's also probably taking away from the other person involved just as much. And it's important to recognize that nobody's trying to pull one over on you. No one's trying to do any of that. No one's trying to take from you and get away with it. But that instead, they're trying to show you that you have a path ahead too. But there's, again, wrong order here, but 3 of Cups, 2 of Wands. Celebrate what we do have. And what's interesting is here is we have these 3 cups up at the very end of the reading. And we had them down and we were crying about them in the beginning. So somebody that you thought you had lost, maybe all of this stuff in your life here because you lost this person, because this ended. Well, it's right here. They're still here loving you, supporting you, caring for you. And if you want that as a friendship, if you want that as a connection, or even an ex that comes back and it's like, let's talk about all this. They won't be upset with you for what has happened in the past. In fact, they're very much willing to talk about it and see a way forward because they appreciate and love you. It's just, where do you want to go from here? Yeah, the ball is actually in your court. It might feel like somebody stole the ball from you and then scored 5 times in a row and you're like, oh my God, it's awful. No, you actually have it now. There it is in your hand. Where are you going to take it? Because you actually won. You've come this far. You've gotten to this point where now we have a fresh path ahead. You have the world in your hand. Where will you go from here? What will you chase? What do you want to put your energy and efforts into? Learning something new about yourself. I mean, that's really what you should be doing, whether that's at school, emotionally, all of it. It's time to start evaluating who you are and where you want to go from here, because things are changing. And yes, this was taken away from your life, but when this leaves your life, all this good stuff comes in because it needed to. You needed to let this go. A lot, like, I feel like there's going to be a lot of the water signs this month, because Cancer's reading, it wasn't like this, but there isn't, like, I think it's just in general, the astrology is just forcing us to let go this month. We have to let go of what we can no longer hold on to, that we just have been refusing to let go for so long. If you don't let this go, you cannot grow. You can't get here. You don't even get to see that this is a choice for you if you don't let it go and see that there's new foundations to be built. And that just because this aspect of a relationship or something has ended does not mean that this one is going anywhere. There's understanding, truth, like true love and understanding here. And maybe you need to look at this in a more positive light of what have you learned from this? Where have you grown? How do you now see things? And how can you change moving forward because of this person, this situation's influence on you? Because of what happened. Who do you want to be now moving forward? You definitely don't want to be this jealous, fearful, possessive Scorpio who refuses to change and, you know, better themselves. It's like this person like whatever the situation is here, it hands you, yeah, pain to work with, but you're no stranger to that. You're no stranger to working through heartbreak, to getting through that deep stuff. Like, that's what you do. That's what you do. That's what you're known for. So don't be afraid. Don't get too sad, because by the end of the month, things do such a beautiful turnaround for you in work and career. As long as you're putting also energy and effort into that, like, it's amazing. Things pick up. Things do get better. Okay? We're just leaving something that we love behind. And that walk from the Eight of Cups is one of the hardest and most painful moments in the tarot. Like, this feels worse to me. Like, when we first pulled these two, like, it hurts. It really does hurt. But at the same time, there's so much hope and happiness. Ugh. Knowing that we're moving towards this. I don't mean to cry. Why do you guys do this to me? But it's beautiful. So, walk on, Scorpios, and rejoice, because, and I think that's probably why that was such a perfect song for you. Sometimes I picked the song and I was like, I don't know, like, how this is going to really be for Scorpio. Like, I'm not really sure. But you know what? By the end of this reading, it makes so much sense now. And yeah, you guys will be able to check out that playlist on Spotify. I'll link it in the description box below. Please do listen to them all. You know, I'm naming all the videos this month after all of the songs that I chose for you guys. And yours is, it ended up being really perfect, I think. Rejoice, because, you know, it's like, you'll never make it out alive. I mean, that's life. It's such a perfect song for you. I mean, just go listen to it. Again, Rejoice by AJJ. If you don't want to go check out my playlist, go check that out for yourself if you're a Scorpio, because it's like, ooh, I don't know, it like hits you in the gut, like listening to them yell about like rejoice and just getting through life. And that's just really the bare bones of I mean, that's really the bones of this reading here. Is you're pushing through a really difficult time, and when you come, like, if you push through this, you put in that work in yourself, you're good to go. You don't have to worry about all this stuff that you're worried about. Am I never gonna see that person again? Oh my God, the one got away. Oh my God, I'm never gonna get married. Oh my God, I'm never gonna have kids. Who's gonna stack up to these standards that I have? Well, somebody will. But right now, we're in the midst of change. We're like under construction. And all we can really do is rejoice for what we do have, rejoice for the experience, and even in the middle of all this pain, because it forces you to grow into something so much more beautiful than you have ever been. Scorpios. Okay, let's pull one Lynn V. Andrews Power Deck card. If you haven't, do make sure to subscribe. Check me out over on Instagram at Deku Tarot. And do check out, again, that playlist that I'm going to link below for the zodiac signs for this December. For my Spotify. Guidance for you guys. One at a time. It's on the floor. Oh, it's actually not the first time that we've seen this one this month. I forgot who else got this. Destiny. Your active power is the key to your destiny. Like a sacred flute player enticing your truth of spirit out into the light of day, own your power because you are made of power. An active power comes from a place of passion within your deepest being. It is an expression of your totality of who you are in the world. To find your active power is to live in your dreams. What would you do if you could do anything? Discover what that is and then do it. To find your power is to find your destiny. So, you're finding your power this month. Don't let these moments trick you into thinking that you don't have power and that you've lost something so huge that your life can no longer go on and everything is going to fall apart and, you know, there's no chance for all this. Don't get into that mindset, because as soon as you do, all these good things they're going to get halted, and you don't need to be there. You need to see things as they are this month and not let your emotions and your anger and your fear and all that stuff get in the way. And if you do feel those things and you need to talk about them, try to find a less intense, harsh, and really, yeah, I guess just intense, harsh, and mean way to say it, okay? I love you guys so much, though. Everything is going to be fine, okay? Love you so much. Scorpios, if you want to check out your astrology birth chart, if you want to check out your compatibility analysis, if you want to check out your numerology analysis, you can check out Truly Divine. Use my code DEKU30 for 30% off. You can use that as many times as you want. Great gifts for people for the holidays. So check that out. It's also in the description box below. Make sure to subscribe. And I will see you guys in 2021. Namaste.